Hello everyone, we're back. So this is Dr. D and Dr. A for another episode of Two Wacky Pundits.
That's right.
So what have we got today?
Today we have a treat for you. Another book. Fortunately another book, because that's what I'm all about.
That's alright, don't worry.
This is a book which pisses down the throat of positivity.
Pisses down the throat. I like the
I've been
phrase.
thinking about that.
I started using it.
It's Smile or Die by Barbara Ehrenreich. That's a mouthful, eh? It's like Schwarzenegger.
Yeah.
Make sure to pause the video and take that one down, because it's difficult to pronounce, difficult to spell.
Okay. So what's this one about?
This one is about the refutation of this whole cult. Today there's this cult of positive thinking, where
Okay.
you have to think positive at all times. Otherwise you're just a negative Nelly. Otherwise you're just a party pooper. Otherwise you're just trying to bring everybody down.
Okay.
So this woman was introduced to the world of positive thinking when she got breast cancer.
Okay.
She got breast cancer, and suddenly she was thrust into the world of these support groups,
Right.
where all these women
But
congregate.
hold on. But she was there voluntarily, no? It's not like somebody forced her to join these groups.
Voluntarily, yes, but she was interested to know. She wanted to understand what they were all about. She didn't understand this at first, but she was initiated into it.
Okay.
And these groups are like cults, where if you don't, they sincerely believe that if you're not positive enough about your cancer,
The cancer will spread.
That the cancer will spread, which is false. She proves it to be false in this book. That actually people who think positively are more at risk, because they are more optimistic and they take more risks in life. So they end up screwing up even more. They end up putting their lives in jeopardy.
Okay.
And
So how was her, like, yeah? So Smile or Die, it means like she was...
actually, this book I bought it from the UK. It's Smile or Die. In the US, they wouldn't let her have this title
Really?
because it was too negative.
Wow.
Imagine that. Imagine the irony. She had to rename it Brightsided, which is really a ridiculous title for a book in the States.
Okay.
And that's the title I have on my Kindle, Brightsided. I read it there, in fact. I didn't even read this
Okay.
version of the book.
So she went to these clinics, yeah, support groups for breast cancer
for
patients.
breast cancer, and she was swamped.
And she was like, force fed, like foie gras,
Yeah,
all this stuff.
that's right, like foie gras.
And at the end of the day, she had a bitter experience.
Obviously.
Okay.
And she even asserts that if somebody has the effrontery of dying from cancer, that they are pushed out of these groups. They are excluded from these groups because
Why?
they believe that it's your own fault if something bad happens to you.
Well,
It's not outside of your control. So, most of us rational people understand that life is beyond your control. Most things happen to you just because they happen to you. But these people believe.
well, that's another issue. And then we can do a whole issue on that. To be honest,
she does say that.
But,
she does say that positive people get more job introductions and get more jobs, but that's because of the bias that there is in favor of positivity and in favor of happy people. Obviously, if you're going for a job interview and you're happy and you look happy and you're smiling, you're obviously going to cut a better impression.
if it's a fake smile or otherwise, then obviously.
But if
then
you
that's
know how
another
to
story.
fake it,
There are people who know how to fake it, but there are others who are genuinely bubbly as well.
yeah,
It's
I
character.
know.
Character
Yeah, I know.
trait. And some people might be so bubbly that you want to smack them in the face.
That's right. That happens to me every day.
But there's a bit of everyone. Let's put it this way.
Yes.
I'm trying to be devil's advocate here, okay,
No,
guys?
it's okay. I have just bounce opinions off each other.
Well, like, interestingly, so if we're talking about positive thinking, I actually heard something really interesting on the radio a couple of days ago. So this radio guy, I'm not going to say the station, names, nothing, but he's based in the UK. But he's talking about stuff happening here in Malta. He's saying that in the UK he had rented out a skip to take out his trash, and one day his bin was half empty, but his neighbor decided to throw some trash into this guy, the radio DJ's bin. And he said, well, for me it's not a big deal, you know, although I'm paying for the skip myself, you know, if it's half empty and someone else wants to use it, that's okay. No worries, not a deal breaker. But he got a lot of comments from people here on the Rock saying, no way, I would never let someone do that to my skip.
Of course.
And then he's being amazed as to why the people here on the Rock reacted that way to his story. And then he said, like, well, I'd like to think that, you know, that I'd like to see the good in people first and not the bad in people. So, like, basically most people here on the Rock look at the bad side of people and not at the good side. And the argument
depends where you go. Depends on what social media group you tend to patronize. In my opinion, I've often met with approbation. Like people like to circle jerk each other. They sit in a circle and they jerk each other off. Like they slap each other on the back.
You really hate these guys, do you?
I hate them. I hate them because it's not true.
That's why we have these channels.
Negativity. Actually, no, not negativity. Sorry. The opposite of positivity is not being totally negative about life. It's thinking critically. It's
being realistic.
It's critical thinking. It's being realistic. Being realistic. And being
because there realistic. Are people who create storms in a teacup as well.
Yes, obviously. And being realistic means that you have to confront the negative in life and confront it with bravery. Not just sweep it under the carpet like these people want to do. These people want to sweep everything under the carpet. And she mentions the Soviet Union, for instance, and North Korea, where positivity is mandated by law. Okay. What survived from Stalinism was the idea that positivity has to be maintained, and that if you're defeatist,
because if they're not happy, you cannot brainwash the
exactly.
populace.
If you're defeatist, you're actually committing an act of terror against the populace. And she mentions the author Milan Kundera. I don't know if you're familiar with him. He's a Czech author from Czechoslovakia, and he wrote this book called The Joke.
The Joke. Okay.
Which the character in this book sends a postcard to somebody else where he says, optimism is the opium of the people. And the character gets punished for it. Just imagine what happened to Milan Kundera. He was punished for writing this book in the exact same way. He was prevented from traveling to the West. His books were removed from all the libraries, censored. So you can imagine what this is all about. Yeah. It's ridiculous.
I mean, my opinion on all this would be like it's good to approach life with a sensible and realistic point of view. It's difficult to do that when shit happens to you.
And shit happens all the time. Yeah.
And I've been a negative person, I've been a positive person, speaking for myself. But let's say I never envisage on a daily basis to be a super smiley, hunky-dory guy. But I do kind of force myself to look at the glass half full rather than half empty.
Yes.
Because when it's half full, there's a little bit of hope. Although, as I told you last time, off camera, there are those days when I want to just take the glass and fucking slam it against the wall or something like that.
It's like, screw the glass.
That happens as well. But yeah, for most of the time, when I look at the glass half full rather than half empty, you do
Good things
get
happen.
you do get to look at, so you have more clarity in seeing more opportunities.
All right, if you say so.
But this is my experience. I cannot say for everyone. But it's an interesting book, definitely.
And I should mention,
to shake a few.
She does mention another book, which is
brains,
which is similar to this one. It's called "Stop Smiling, Start Kvetching." Kvetching is the Yiddish word for complaining.
Well, that's you just come to the Rock and then no problem.
by this woman Barbara Held.
Because we beat the Brits for that, for complaining.
And this book is very hard to find. You can only find it through paperback and through second hand. I mean.
So again, it's not on Amazon, this one?
No, this is on Amazon. But if you're gonna look for it, you're gonna look for it under the title Brightsided, not Smile or Die. Because I don't think this book is for sale anymore under this title.
Okay.
This is too negative, right?
Fair enough.
Too negative.
Depends.
Okay, that'll be all.
Fantastic. Okay, guys, thanks again for watching.
See
Hope
you
you had
next
fun.
week with another book review.
Yes.
I hope it interests you.
Take care.
May your God be with you.
Indeed. Bye.